Hey plant fam, welcome back to The Sprout. Today we're talking about one of the most fascinating and misunderstood plants on the planet, the Venus flytrap, Dionaea muscipula, the plant with jaws, the plant that eats bugs. It's strange, it's cool, and honestly, it's not that hard to grow once you understand a few simple rules. But here's the thing, most people kill their Venus flytrap within a few weeks of buying it, not because they're bad plant parents, but because they treat it like a normal houseplant, and this is not a normal houseplant. It comes from the swamps of North and South Carolina. It needs special water, special soil, and a special winter rest. Before we dive in, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. We put out new plant care videos every week, and I don't want you to miss the next one. Also, drop a comment below. Have you ever owned a Venus flytrap? Did it survive? I want to hear your stories. Now let's get into it. First, let's talk about where Venus flytraps come from. They're native to a very small region, the coastal plains of southeastern North Carolina and northeastern South Carolina. That's it, a tiny strip of the United States. They grow in sandy, nutrient-poor soil that's always wet. They evolved to eat insects because the soil doesn't give them enough nitrogen. Understanding this, poor soil, constant moisture, lots of sun, explains almost everything about how to keep them alive. Let's start with water. This is the most important thing. Venus flytraps are extremely sensitive to chemicals in water. Tap water will kill them. I'm not exaggerating. The minerals, chlorine, and fluoride in tap water build up in the soil and burn the roots. The leaves will turn black and the plant will die. So what water should you use? Rainwater is best. Distilled water is perfect. Reverse osmosis water works too. If you have a dehumidifier, you can use that water. Just never use tap water. Never use bottled water. Many brands have minerals added. Never use filtered water from a Brita or fridge filter. Those filters don't remove dissolved minerals. Only rainwater, distilled, or RO. Now let's talk about how to water. Venus flytraps are bog plants. They like wet feet. They should never dry out. The easiest method is the tray method. Keep your pot in a saucer or tray that always has about ½ inch to 1 inch of distilled water in it. The soil will soak up the water from below. Refill the tray when it gets low. Never let the soil dry out. That's a death sentence for these plants. Now let's talk about light. Venus flytraps need a lot of sun. In the wild, they grow in full sun. Indoors, give them the brightest spot you have. A south-facing window is best. They need at least 6 to 8 hours of direct sunlight every day. If you don't have a sunny window, use a grow light. They need about 14 hours of light under a strong LED grow light. The light should be about 25 watts per 10-inch growing area. How do you know if your plant is getting enough light? Look at the color. In good light, the inside of the traps will turn pink or red. If the traps stay all green and the leaves look long and floppy, your plant needs more light. Now let's talk about soil. Regular potting soil will kill a Venus flytrap. It has fertilizer and minerals that burn the roots. These plants evolved in poor, sandy soil. They need a soil mix with no nutrients. Use a mix of sphagnum peat moss and perlite in a 1-to-1 ratio, or use pure long fiber sphagnum moss. Avoid Miracle-Gro products. They have added fertilizer. Avoid perlite that has added nutrients. And never use regular potting mix, compost, or garden soil. For the pot, avoid terracotta or unglazed clay. Those pots can leach minerals into the soil. Use plastic or glazed ceramic pots instead. Now let's talk about temperature. Venus flytraps like it warm during the growing season, between 70 and 85 degrees Fahrenheit. They can handle up to 95 degrees for short periods. They also need cooler temperatures in winter for dormancy, between 35 and 50 degrees Fahrenheit. They can survive being frozen solid for short periods if they're fully dormant, but it's safer to keep them above freezing. Let's talk about dormancy. This is where a lot of people get confused. Venus flytraps need a winter rest. In the wild, they go dormant for 3 to 5 months when the days get shorter and temperatures drop. If you don't give them dormancy, they will weaken and eventually die after a year or two. What does dormancy look like? The leaves stop growing. Some leaves may turn black and die back. The plant looks like it's dying, but it's not, it's just sleeping. How do you give dormancy indoors? Move the plant to a cool spot, an unheated garage, a cold basement, a cool windsill. The temperature should be between 35 and 50 degrees Fahrenheit. Water less during dormancy. Keep the soil just damp, not wet. You don't need light during dormancy. After 3 to 4 months, move it back to a warm, sunny spot and it will wake up. If you live in a climate where winter temperatures stay above 20 degrees Fahrenheit, you can keep your plant all year outside. It will go dormant naturally. Now let's talk about feeding. Venus flytraps don't need fertilizer. They get their nutrients from bugs. If your plant is outdoors, it will catch its own food. If it's indoors, you need to feed it occasionally. What can you feed it? Small live insects are best. Flies, ants, small crickets, spiders. You can also use rehydrated dried bloodworms, the kind you feed fish. This is actually the easiest method for indoor plants. What not to feed it? Never feed it meat, cheese, hamburger, or any human food. These contain proteins and fats that the plant can't digest, and they will rot inside the trap, killing it. How to feed with dried bloodworms? Rehydrate a small bloodworm in a drop of distilled water. Use tweezers to place it inside a trap. Gently touch the trigger hairs inside the trap 2 or 3 times to make it close. Then gently massage the outside of the trap for a few seconds. This mimics an insect struggling and tells the plant to start digesting. You only need to feed 1 or 2 traps every 2 to 4 weeks. The plant doesn't need much. Here's where you come in. Drop a comment below. Did you know Venus flytraps needed distilled water? Have you ever tried feeding one? I'd love to hear your experiences. Now let's talk about how traps work. Inside each trap are 3 tiny trigger hairs on each lobe. When an insect touches 2 hairs within about 20 seconds, or touches the same hair twice, the trap snaps shut. It takes only 1/10 of a second. If the insect struggles, it triggers more hairs and the trap seals shut tightly. Then the plant releases digestive enzymes. After about 5 to 12 days, the trap reopens, leaving behind the dried-out exoskeleton of the insect. Here's something important. A trap can only close about 3 to 5 times before it dies and is replaced by a new trap. So don't trigger the traps for fun. Don't stick your finger in them. Every time you make it close without food, you're wasting one of its limited closes. It's like pulling the fire alarm as a joke. It weakens the plant. Now let's talk about common problems. Problem 1, black, dying leaves. A few old leaves turning black is normal. Cut them off at the base. But if many leaves are turning black quickly, you're probably using tap water or the soil dried out. Switch to distilled water and keep the soil wet. Problem 2, traps not closing. Low light is a common cause. The plant doesn't have enough energy. Move it to a brighter spot. Also, very hot or cold temperatures can affect trap movement. Problem 3, long, floppy leaves. Not enough light. The plant is stretching toward the light. Move it to a sunnier spot or add a grow light. Problem 4, mold or fungus on the soil. Too wet with poor air circulation. Remove the affected soil, improve airflow, make sure the pot has drainage. Problem 5, plant looks dead after winter. That's normal. Dormancy makes the plant look sad. Give it warmth and light in spring and it will bounce back. If it doesn't, gently check the rhizome, the white part underground. If it's firm and white, it's alive. If it's mushy and brown, it's dead from rot. Let me give you a few quick answers to common questions. How big do Venus flytraps get? The traps are usually 1 to 2 inches long. The whole plant is about 4 to 6 inches across. Can I keep my Venus flytrap in a terrarium? It's not recommended. Terrariums get too hot and humid with poor air circulation. A pot in a saucer of water is much better. Do they need humidity? They tolerate normal indoor humidity, but they appreciate higher humidity. If your home is very dry, a humidifier nearby helps. Should I repot my Venus flytrap? Yes, every 1 to 2 years in spring. Use fresh peat and perlite. When you repot, you can also divide the plant if it has multiple growth points. How long do Venus flytraps live? With good care, they can live for decades. Where can I buy one? Garden centers, plant shops, and online carnivorous plant specialists. Let's wrap everything up. Venus flytraps are not hard to grow, they're just different. Use only rainwater or distilled water, never tap water. Keep the pot sitting in a tray of water at all times. Never let the soil dry out. Give them as much direct sun as you can, a south window or strong grow lights. Use nutrient-poor soil, peat and perlite, no fertilizer. Give them a cool winter dormancy for 3 to 4 months. Feed them occasionally with small bugs or rehydrated bloodworms. Don't trigger the traps for fun, and never feed them meat or human food. Here's the most important thing to remember. Most people kill Venus flytraps with kindness. They water them with tap water, they put them in regular potting soil, they skip dormancy. Don't do those things. Give them the right water, the right light, and the right winter rest, and they will thrive for years. These plants are ancient, strange, and absolutely wonderful. They're not just plants. They're little green monsters that eat bugs, and they deserve a spot in your collection. Before you go, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and leave me a comment. Would you try growing a Venus flytrap, or have you already? What's your craziest carnivorous plant story? I want to hear it. Also, what plant should I cover next? Pitcher plant? Sundew? Let me know. Thanks for watching. Take care of your plants, and they'll take care of you. See you in the next video.